Oh, didn't bring myself in. Oops, sorry about that. Welcome on into another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. Looks like it's just me again today, which is totally fine. I don't mind doing the solo shows. It's totally fine. We'll jump right into the comments and then we'll break down the first game. Tim asks, is it normal for a team to score 6 goals a lot? And the answer is, and I kind of knew which team he was talking about. And I said, when you are the number one scoring team in the NHL, yes, you are going to score 6 goals a lot. And Tim says, cool. I said that Sabres are plus 205 tomorrow. This is a Sabres team that I have cashed plus 160 on the puck line twice and plus 160 on the money line against Vegas as well. And they are plus 205 tomorrow. What shall we do with that? Only time will tell. Tim says, duh. And then I was just clarifying that I was just saying that they are 205 tomorrow, which is crazy with how they've been playing. I did not necessarily say to bet on it, but yeah, Sabres money line in reg and minus 1.5. They are in Boston tomorrow, so that will explain the price. And that is tomorrow's game. But we have some games to break down for today, starting with a game that starts in 58 minutes, which is kind of a weird time, especially for a Friday night game in Anaheim. So it's even weirder for them. Normally, they would be starting in 5 hours, 5.5 hours, 10 or 10:30, and now they're starting at 5 for this afternoon game. You can get Nashville minus 163 to minus 181. Anaheim plus 135 to plus 150. Sixes right across the board in this one. Neither of these teams are a team that I'm rushing to go back as a side. Nashville 14-14-5 on the season, 6-8-2 on the road. And in their last 9 games, 2-4-3. So they're not necessarily playing well. They're not necessarily playing really bad, but they're just kind of mediocre. They've gone under in 6 of their last 9 games. 1 game did land on 6. Anaheim, surprisingly, if you watch this team most of the year, they were a heavy over team, not being able to stop the puck. Not necessarily scoring a lot, but not being able to stop the puck. And they've gone under 6 in 4 straight games, getting a little bit better defense and better goaltending. 3 games from Dostal, and then the last game from Gibson. No goalies confirmed in this game, but it's got to be the under for me. I think the weird start time, the fact that neither of these teams are scoring very much, the numbers at 6. I think we get a lower type scoring game, 3-1, 4-0, some type of game like that. Richie says, what's up? I smashed like. Much appreciated, Richie, as always. Terry, let's go Stars. Yes, the Stars won. The score did look a little bit more inflated than how the game actually was, but it is what it is. Even the best teams lose some games. Can I ask a question is back and says hello. Hello, can I ask a question? Maybe you will ask your question today. Worst team in the NHL, Predators, puck line. All right. Yeah, I can't get to a side in that game. I can't. I have absolutely no opinion on the side. I'm just going to go with the under. Going on to the next game on the slate, we have the New Jersey Devils, minus 105 to plus 105. Pittsburgh, minus 110 to minus 120. 6.5s right across the board in this one. Surprisingly, both of these teams are currently in a playoff spot, but both of these teams have lost 4 of their last 5. And both of these teams are just not really playing well at the moment. If you look at who New Jersey's playing, the NHL schedule makers, they really don't like the New Jersey Devils. They're playing the best teams, Carolina twice, Boston twice, Pittsburgh. They have not been given any favors by the NHL schedule makers during this run. But every team plays every team. Obviously, not every team plays every team the same amount of games, but because teams play in their division 4 times. But New Jersey's still playing the same games that the other teams in their division are playing. They just have a rough schedule. Can't choose who you play. So when you rack up a bunch of wins against bad teams, you can't control that. You can't control the schedule makers. What they do, you just have to play. Both these teams not playing well. I'm passing on this game. For me, if I had to pull the trigger, I'd probably look at the draw between New Jersey and Pittsburgh. I think we get a close game here. Actually, overtime would be the best thing for both teams because they both are struggling to win games. So getting a point each at least would do them well. I can't pick a side. I can't pick a total. It would be a lean with the under, but I can't pick it. I cannot get on board. Offset, but Stars, Mavs, Cowboys, Triple D. All right. Devils. Yeah, I'm kind of... I want to bet the Devils, but I wanted to bet the Devils against... I wanted to bet the Devils against the Bruins too. Literally, I was sitting there all day long, and I couldn't get out of my mind betting the Devils for some reason. I just kept thinking, I should bet the Devils tonight. And Boston won, so I don't feel bad about staying off. My gut was wrong, so don't always follow your gut feelings. Tim Smith says, I have an issue, Terry. All right. Well, if you want to put in the comments, if not, if you want to message me directly at Let's Go Wild Picks on Twitter, you can message me there. Can both teams lose? Pens and New Jersey? And sadly not. This isn't like the NFL where teams can tie. Unfortunately, there has to be someone getting 2 points. Richie says fair. But those Yotes came through. Yes. On my 5-pack on the site yesterday, I had Minnesota, which obviously didn't cash. I had Buffalo minus 1.5. I had the over in the Buffalo game. So the Buffalo game was absolutely great to me. I had Vancouver, which looked good for a good portion of the game until they absolutely fell apart, which kind of sucked. And then Yotes plus 1.5 is what won me the package. Yotes plus 1.5 was plus 100, which was just absolutely crazy. There's a problem, Terry. All right. Let me know. But we will go on to the next game that we have to talk about. Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. You can get Florida for plus 1. You can get Florida for plus 145 to plus 155. Carolina minus 170 to minus 182. 6s and 6.5s available in this one. And this game's interesting. Florida has had the recent success against. Sorry, I'm trying to get back up here. Florida's had the recent success against Carolina, winning the last 5 meetings between the two teams. But 4 of those were from last year, when Florida was the best team in the NHL in the regular season last year. Florida's taken a step back. This Carolina team, 13-0-1 in their last 14 games. They've won 9 in a row. I am not stepping in front of the Hurricanes while they play, while they've been playing as they have. Florida on a back-to-back. If you look at what Florida's done on a back-to-back this year, they won their first game on their first back-to-back on the second night against the Anaheim Ducks. Then they lost their next 3 second night back-to-backs, all by multiple goals. All 3 games went over as well. Now they're coming in to face this rested Carolina team. Florida won 3-0 in the meeting earlier on this year. I like the Hurricanes. I think this is a great spot for them. against a team that they've lost against 5 straight games. I think Carolina ends that losing streak. Another thing, Florida's last 8 losses have all been regulation losses and have all been by 2 or more goals. So when Florida has been losing, they have been losing convincingly. So for me, Carolina minus 1.5. You can get that currently for plus 145, plus 140. It's a great price for the Hurricanes. I think they take it to the Florida Panthers in tonight's game. Before we get to the last game, and obviously we'll get to best bets. My best bet yesterday, Sabres minus 1.5, was a great cash. Jordan Binnington is on the show. Obviously, it's not the real Jordan Binnington, luckily, because he's not welcome on this show. Blues money line versus those sorry Wild tomorrow. That's the thing. The Wild, first of all, have struggled against St. Louis for a long time, but the Wild are coming off, I guess you could say, embarrassing home loss. So I like them to rebound tomorrow. No big surprise there. Can Detroit Lenny ask a question? I suppose so. Sup, Jordan Binnington. Good to see you again. No, it's definitely not good to see. Can you answer Lenny's question? I have. I answered it. Tim Smith says, Terry, exclamation mark. Richie says, not a friend of the show. And he's not talking about Tim. I'm sure he's talking about Jordan Binnington, who, yes, is not welcome here. Like the Canes here also. Yes, I love it, Richie. And then Ryan says, go Kraken, which is a perfect segue into that game, which I will bring up. You can currently find Edmonton minus 105 to minus 112. Seattle minus 105 to minus 115. 6.5s right across the board. It is apparently a game time decision for Leon Draisaitl in this game, who is banged up and has not participated in practice and may not play in this game. Edmonton is in trouble if they don't have Leon Draisaitl, because all Seattle's defense is going to have to do is focus completely on McDavid, and that's basically stopping most of the Edmonton offense because it runs through McDavid and Draisaitl. Tyson Barrie is also questionable, as he is also banged up. And the Seattle team is pretty healthy. Edmonton went over 6.5 in 13 of their last 15 games. And of course, I was on the over with their last game against Calgary, and it finished 2-1. So finally, Edmonton went under the total. Seattle 3-1 in their last 7 games. They've gone over 6.5 in 4 of their last 7. All 3 meetings between these two teams last year went over 6.5. I've already locked in the over 6.5, and I am looking at the Seattle Kraken. I think if you want the Kraken, you should grab them now, because when Leon Draisaitl most likely, I don't know if he's going to play or not, so I don't want to say either or, but obviously if he is confirmed out, Seattle will become a bigger favorite. I'm going to assume minus 120, minus 125 maybe. So if you like Seattle, you may want to jump on that now. And I do like the Kraken. I like them here. I'm on the over, but I lean with the Kraken in this one. Detroit Lenny has a serious question. All right. Earl Sports Bets, Nick says, wait, can I ask a question? Which he totally can. Yes, all I'm trying to do is ask a question. Can I? I like the over 6. Yes, Richie. Thanks. Someone finally having a real comment. Richie saying he likes the over 6.5 in Edmonton, Seattle. So do I. You're welcome for the answer. And why can't you get an answer? You totally can, Tim. You totally can. But that is today's show. I was going to kind of go through a little bit of tomorrow's card, but I haven't capped tomorrow's card. So obviously I can't do that. I see Minnesota, who opened up at minus 110 favorites, is now minus 123 to minus 135 in St. Louis. So something is going on there. I can't back the Wild at minus 130 favorites in St. Louis. Even I can't do that because we've struggled against St. Louis for so long. But Tim, I don't know if you want me to be on your Buffalo Sabres tomorrow. Saturday afternoons, I'm jinxed. Saturday brunch games, I am jinxed. So really, you probably want me to take Boston tomorrow. Have a good day, Terry. Sabres for the Cup. You too, Tim. Tim Smith, do you want to ask a question? He totally can. He knows. Eyes. Yes. So, yeah, stay away from my Sabres then. But they're plus 210 now, Tim. They're going up higher. So, Buffalo plus 1.5. Okay, that's minus 120, minus 125. If Buffalo plus 1.5 moves to minus 110, then I absolutely have to take that. So smart guy that Terry is. Hey, thanks, Richie. You as well. Great. Now the show's over. Technically not. I have not went over the best bet yet. So you still have time to ask your question, Tim, but time is running out. And then Tim says, yes, take the Bruins minus 1.5. I have to break the streak eventually. I don't know what I did to Saturday afternoon brunch gods, but for whatever reason, when I bet Saturday brunch games, they just don't go well. So looking at today's slate, you know what? I'm going to do it. I took a puck line as my best bet yesterday. Buffalo Sabres minus 1.5. That cashed. I'm going to give you another puck line. Carolina Hurricanes minus 1.5 plus 145. They have lost their last 5 games against Florida. I think they end that streak with a puck line win. As I said earlier, Florida's lost their last 8 games, all by 2 or more. I think Carolina takes it to them. So my best bet is Carolina minus 1.5. That is today's show. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Most likely, I probably will do a show tomorrow morning. And we'll probably have some people on with me. So make sure to tune into that. Stay tuned on the channel. And if you see the video put up on the upcoming streams, then we'll have one tomorrow. But best of luck on your bets tonight. And we'll see you again. Thanks, guys.